Hey guys, I hope you guys are doing well. It's Wasik from TGN, and today I have a writing task 1 IELTS. It's a double chart. So এখানে আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে একটা bar chart আছে এবং একটা pie chart. So we have a bar chart and a pie chart, right? So these are kind of tricky, again, like all of the writings, but if you can effectively organize the information and complete the writing, you'll be fine. All you gotta write is 150 words, right? So this sort of word লিখতে হবে এবং আমাদের ইনফরমেশনটাকে গুছিয়ে প্রেজেন্ট করতে হবে. We need to talk about where there are differences, we need to talk about where there are similarities, and then we'll be done. Simple. So initially I'm just going to look at the chart, and when I look at this chart, আমি যখন দেখছি এটা মানে when I'm analyzing and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, কি হলো কি হচ্ছে, immediately I see that one is 2017, one of the time periods. আরেকটা time period হচ্ছে 2018. So একটা হলো 2017, একটা হচ্ছে 2018. Now, a bar chartটা দেখাচ্ছে আমাকে sources, right? And the pie chart is showing me how the money was spent. So bar chart showing the sources of the money, and the pie chart is showing how the money was spent. And now what I'm going to do, next step, সবার জন্য যেটা হবে, analyze the data. Okay, here we have national government. There was an increase, right? 175 to 177. From local tax, there was an increase of about 10, right? Other sources stayed about the same, 500,000 increase. And the total increased, correct? So I'm immediately দেখতে পাচ্ছি যে কিছু slight differences আছে, কিছু বাড়ছে, কিছু কমছে, but the মূল কথা এখানে is that we want to know these points of information because each of these little changes or similarities এই সবগুলা কি আমরা মেনশন করব রাইটিং এর মধ্যে, okay? Now let's look at how the money was spent. Pie chart গুলো দেখি একটু তাকাই. Automatically I can see, and before I look at the data, at least I'm going to see the categories. One is salaries, right? The big one is salaries. Then gray color. Then we have technology at white, right? And buildings and transport with the color black. So এই জিনিসটা দেখা essential. We need to look at this first so we know what we're writing about, what we're going to talk about, right? And then we can actually look at the data. So I can see salaries actually decreased from 75 to 69%. But technology was, what's it called? Technology actually increased in the following year, 18. And look at this, 17 and 17. মানে কি building and transport এর কোনো change নাই. There is no change. So আমরা এখন জানি যে basically I can, before I even write, I can tell you how I'm going to organize this and কিভাবে আমি লিখবো and কোন sentence কি করবো. You can kind of get an idea before I even write if you do the planning well, okay? Planning is essential in writing and I can't stress it enough. আমি যদি আগের থেকে এই সব জিনিসগুলো mentally গুছিয়ে ফেলি, if I do a mental picture first, I can easily write it or type it effectively and efficiently. So basically national government is going to be a sentence, okay? Local taxes is going to be a sentence, other sources is going to be a sentence, and total is going to be a sentence. There's going to be 4 sentences in my first paragraph, okay? 4 sentences. Now same thing goes for salaries. There's going to be a sentence for that, a sentence for technology, and a sentence for buildings and transport. So আমার total ধরতে পারি at least body paragraphs এর মধ্যে, in my body paragraphs হবে 8 sentences, 7 or 8 sentences I would say. And moreover, if we look, we need one other piece of information যেটা হচ্ছে কি introduction. Okay, so introduction একটু আমরা দেখি কি বলা যায়. As always in introduction we have to paraphrase the question or kind of talk about what we're going to write about. ঠিক আছে? So I'm just going to write this just like this. It's going to be something like, hold on, let me silence my phone. Sorry about that. So the charts illustrate and let's just go up. I can go up and just simply look, right? Police budget in 2017, and this is what in British pounds, so I can assume this is in England. So the police budget in England, or in a certain part of Britain, let's say, and how the money was spent. So I'm just going to kind of put this in my own words. The police budget and how the money was spent in a particular part of England from 2017 to 2018. Okay? এখন, the next sentence in any of the writing tasks, 1, you have to give an overall statement. So what can I see? আমি কি দেখতে পাচ্ছি just from looking at this graph. Let's see, looking at these graphs. Well, there was an increase in the total budget. And here we can see that I don't really want to mention too much about how the money was spent, but I can say overall there was an increase, and let's say there was more money spent on technology, because if we can see here, but I don't really want to mention. That's what I'm saying, guys. Overall statement, I'm যেটা এক ঝলকে দেখতে পারবো, guys. You don't really want to be too direct এখানে, because you'll take away information that you can use later on. So I'll just say overall it can be seen that there was an increase in the budget. All right. Overall can be seen that there was an increase in the budget and the ways the money was spent were relatively similar in both years. Done. So just very quickly and effectively, I just kind of, summarized what's going on. Now let's get into the writing. All right. So national government went from 175 to 177.8. That's 2.3 million pound increase. Okay, 175.5 to 177.8. Okay. When looking at the sources of funds, the national government invested 175.5, I believe, million pounds in 2017 and increased the amount to 177.8 million pounds in 2018. An increase of 2.5 million, I guess. 2.3 million. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. 91 to 102.3. 91.2 to 102.3. So what is that? 10 is, let's say, about 10 million increase. And this was from the local taxes. All right. Local taxes contributed 91.2 million pounds in 2017, but in 2018 increased the amount, or let's just say the amount increased to, and আরো একটু better ভাবে করি, the amount grew by nearly 10 million pounds to what is it? 102.3 million pounds. Done. Now let's look at what we got left. I think it was other sources. Example given grants. Okay. Other sources remained relatively stable with a contribution, or with, not even say contribution, 38 million pounds in 2017 and 38.5 million pounds in 2018. All right. Now let's look at the total. Total went from 304 to 318. So 18 minus 4 is about what? 14. So the total budget grew by about 14 million pounds from 2017 to 2018, with 104, I believe, or 304, sorry, and 318 respectively. So 304.7 and 318.6, okay. 4.7 million and 318 point what? 318.6. Okay. Each year, respectively. Now, very simply, guys, I'm just going to finish up the pie chart very easily. Table is complete. Let's get to it, okay? 17 is the same. Buildings and transport, same, okay? 75, 69, there's a slight decrease. And 8 to 14, slight increase. So let's get to it. When analyzing where the money was spent, the majority of the funds were utilized to pay for salaries, with 75% in 2017 and 69% in 2018. Okay, now let's look at what do we have here. Technology went from 8 to 14, so there was an increase. Technology grew by 6% and ended with 14% of the total in 2018. And last but not least, we have buildings and transport. So buildings and transport. The amount of money spent on buildings and transport remained the same at 17% in both 2017 and 2018. And that's it, guys. Let's see how many words we have. 208. Okay, so more than enough for IELTS. I hope this video helps you guys. And notice, this isn't that huge of a paragraph, and you don't need it to be. We just need to cover the information. And same thing for this one. We're not going too crazy. Okay, introduction, body paragraph 1, which was the table, and then body paragraph 2, which was the pie chart. Just because you see 2 charts doesn't mean you have to go crazy. Life is easy. Don't worry, okay? Thank you, guys. It's Wasik from TGN. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks. I'll be seeing you later.